Today we're talking all about barrel aging your mead, wine, cider, your beer in a different way. I'm specifically talking about these guys right here. This is a Bad Motivator Barrel. You might have seen them online. It's a mostly steel pot or vessel with a barrel front. Now this company is pretty unique in that they produce these things. They have a bunch of different woods and kinds of woods you can order, a couple different sizes as well. This is the 5 gallon or 19 liters. They also make a 1.8 gallon. And the cool thing about these, as I've been investigating more on their website, they have a couple different kinds of oak that they're coming out with. So that's kind of cool. This company sponsored this video. Full transparency, they sent this to me to review, and so of course I wanted to try it. I do a lot of oaking with my meads. I've never done it like this, and I've always wanted to have a barrel. So I took this vessel right here, you can see it's used, and I made a mead, of course. I made a sunflower blossom traditional mead, which is sunflower honey. It turned out to be about 13%. I got this fresh barrel from them. And we let that mead ferment. It went through the fermentation. I back sweetened it, did a little bit of acid adjustment, but other than that, I left it pretty simple. When it was done back sweetening all those things, I went ahead and racked it into this barrel. Now, there's something you need to know first before you use this oak, especially barrels, is you want to make sure that it is fully sealed. So you normally add some water in there to let it kind of I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but make sure all the seals, the wood expands out, because obviously it dries when it is, or it gets smaller when it dries, it expands out. Then we took that water out of it, and we basically just racked our mead straight into here. We filled this barrel up, we put our bung on top of it, into it, and then we let it set. The cool thing about these is, they're supposed to simulate the same consistency of barrel aging that you get with a real barrel, meaning all sides. It's supposed to, and I don't know the math or the science behind it, but it's supposed to emulate that for one for one. So you should be able to age in this for a long time and get that barrel flavor. I was hoping to go ahead and leave this in here for 6 months, 8 months to a year. This brew, this sunflower blossom traditional mead you see right here, was only in there for about 2 months. And I knew it was time to pull it off because I'd been doing a little bit of taste testing. And one thing I did figure out with this was, because there's pretty much a good vacuum seal, when you open this up and it's full, which is a good thing, it was not letting me get any liquid out easily. So I had to take and put a nail, which I'm sure the Bad Motivator people are gonna yell at me, but I took a nail, put it right in here, and that allowed me to get a little bit of an air hold so that I could get some pressure release, therefore allowing me to get some liquid out. Essentially, I just pulled that nail out when I needed to get some pressure released, put it back in. That helped me to move it in and out of the brew, or of the container. We taste tested it. That's how we knew it was ready to go. So we taste tested it pretty regularly. It was kind of fun to do anyways, see how it was going. And then at 2 months, we racked it into a new container. So I want to taste this real fast and then we'll talk about these barrels even more, but this is that sunflower blossom mead. Sunflower blossom honey is fantastic. I had a really good one at Mead Stampede 2024, and it inspired me to try my own. This brew is gonna go off to a competition or two, so I'm gonna throw up some scores and it might tank or it might do well, who knows, but let's see what it tastes like. Sunflower honey is very interesting, very deep, rich, floral, but it's obviously lighter color. The oak on here is pretty prominent. I probably could have oaked it a little less in hindsight, but I'm hoping that oak barrel and all that side kind of comes down in the flavor. Definitely very oaky. I think because this was a new barrel, it probably had a lot of flavor to extract. It's a wonderful tasting brew. It is pretty oaky. I'm a little concerned when I send it off to comps or stuff that it's gonna get blasted because the oak flavor is too strong, and that was kind of on me for not just pulling it out sooner. But really interesting brew. I really like that. I'm curious to see how that ages. All right, let's go back to this for a second. This barrel is really cool, really simple, honestly, too. You can get a stand for it. You'll see a stand that I have that is too big. They do make a stand for this specific size, so I'd recommend you get that. Pros of this thing, really cool, nice build, You can get different kinds of woods. They've got really cool, interesting woods that they're doing with some of this stuff, and it's durable. I mean, this is a quality thing that without having to get some giant barrel, true barrel in your house. All right, so let's talk cons now, because there's cons to everything. It's kind of expensive. I don't really know the economics that go behind this stuff, so I can't say for sure, but at its base value, $225. So it's $225 for a 5-gallon barrel. And it's reusable, of course, to a certain extent. Obviously, at some point, the oak is not going to be giving the amount of flavor you want. At that point, I don't know how reusable this whole vessel is. If they have an ability to put an interchangeable barrel head on there, then that's spectacular. You just throw a new barrel head on there. I don't know if that's the technology, though. So $225 for a 5-gallon. Let's see what the 1.8s are. 1.8s are about $150. 1.8 gallons if you're trying to figure that out. That doesn't include a stand. That's just the barrel itself. So if you have that kind of money and you're willing to spend it, I think it's a really cool investment and really fun. I look forward to being able to use this again. I've got a dry mead that I'm working on right now that I want to barrel age in it. And I think that these flavors are just going to keep compounding from, you know, what happened with the sunflower to the next thing. This is also, like, I realistically should have probably had the next mead ready to go and go straight into it. With barrel aging, you don't often want to leave a barrel dry because there's a chance that that wood will warp or it won't seal right and then it just won't work. So I'm running a bit of a risk here by not having something ready to go in it. Regardless, I'm super interested to play with it more. Thankful to the Bad Motivator company for reaching out and sending this to me. Highly recommend you check them out if you're interested in this. If you just like to go a cheaper route for oaking, there's chips, there's cubes, there's staves. There are many ways you can add oak flavor to your brews that aren't barrel aging. But if you can do this, try it, it's fun. So go check out the links below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.